Alright, let's talk about something that'll blow your mind. How much money did the British really loot from India during colonization? And what would that be worth today? First, let's set the scene. The British East India Company landed in India in the early 1600s. By the mid-1800s, the British Crown had taken direct control. Over nearly 200 years, they didn't just rule India, they drained it. So, how much are we talking about? Historian Utsa Patnaik did the math. She estimates that between 1765 and 1938, the British siphoned off around $45 trillion. That's trillion with a T, in today's money. Let that number sink in for a second. $45 trillion is more than the annual GDP of the United States, China, Japan combined. But how did they do it? It wasn't just about stealing gold or jewels, it was systematic. The British taxed Indian farmers, forced them to grow cash crops instead of food, bought those crops at rock-bottom prices, they exported cotton, opium, tea, other goods, and the profits never came back to India. Indian soldiers fighting in British wars were paid with Indian money, not British. Every possible trick was used to keep wealth flowing out and poverty locked in. And the impact? Before colonization, India made up about 23% of the world's economy. By the time the British left in 1947, that number had dropped to less than 4%. Think about that. A country that was once one of the richest in the world was left impoverished. Now what would $45 trillion look like today? If you split it among India's current population, every person would get over $30,000. That's enough to lift millions, maybe hundreds of millions out of poverty overnight. So next time you hear someone say, colonization was good for India, remember the numbers. It wasn't about development, it was about extraction. And the price India paid? Absolutely staggering. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new, do subscribe, hit that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear the real story.